Hello guys. So in this session, we will be taking up one question which is related to objectivity in social research, and then we will discuss the solution also. So it's a revision session. It's not going to be like a normal course. So I'll give you the question, and then we will discuss the solution also. So here is the question. As you see here, what do you understand by objectivity in social research? Enlist the methods and ways suggested by sociologists for ensuring or achieving objectivity in social research. And as per your opinion, up to what extent or degree objectivity is decided in sociology? So I hope you remember that I always talk about this absolute objectivity as neither possible nor desirable in sociology. So with respect to this, that is exactly what you will be writing. So if you're talking about absolute objectivity, neither possible nor desirable, because sociologists are studying human beings and human beings have consciousness which cannot be predicted. On the other hand, if you look at natural science and study matter, which do not have consciousness and you can predict the behavior easily, that's not the case. So what should be the structure of your answer? It should be first you define what is objectivity, then you say how to ensure that, and then you will discuss its desirability, and then you will be concluding. So let's start with the discussion. So you need to define, right? So in introduction, what you can write is, guys, first you need to know what is objectivity and why this question is there. Objectivity means freedom from personal bias. Okay, so as a sociologist, when you conduct any study, there should not be any personal bias. And from where this personal bias comes, it comes from certain values. Now, what do you mean by values? These are, certain belief that you carry in your mind. It could be based on religion. So the personal bias can come from, it could be religion, it could be gender, it could be region, it could be anything, right? So it should be related to certain values that you carry in your mind. So if that affect your study or research, then that research is colored by personal bias and it is going to be subjective. It's not going to be objective. So what is objectivity? Objectivity means no value, or in other words, you can say value neutrality. So objectivity, if you need to ensure, you need to be value neutral. So one of the most important condition or precondition for ensuring objectivity is value neutrality. So if you know this, then you can write a proper introduction and then we can proceed further. We can define. So see, in introduction, I'll give you one introduction from which you can take a couple of sentences and you can write. So when we talk about objectivity in social research, it means detachment from personal biases, values, emotions, and ensure impartiality in the study of social phenomena. This is enough. You can say it's a hallmark of scientific inquiry, which is aiming to achieve that accuracy, reliability, and validity in understanding the societal structure and relationships. So you can talk about the definition by Robert Bierstedt. If you don't know, I give you the PDF also. You can check out the details in the description. So as per this, objectivity implies that the conclusions must be independent of personal inclinations such as race, religion, culture, or political affiliation. This is what exactly I told you before in terms of values. So objectivity is compromised because of this, right? So again, achieving and maintaining objectivity in sociology, you can see this debate across sociology all the time. It is there. Can you achieve objectivity? To what extent you can achieve objectivity? Is it desirable? Is it possible? What are the methods can be used? And all these are there in the context. So you can add all those things in your introduction, maybe in 30, 40 words, and then define objectivity as I discussed before. What do you mean by objectivity? Simply you define freedom from personal bias, or make sure that, or ensuring that conclusions are based on, evidence and scientific reasoning. It should be based on logic, it should be based on evidence, it should be based on proper reason. We can talk about Max Weber, advocated for value-free sociology, and he emphasized that researchers must separate personal bias from empirical inquiry, and he have given the methods also, right? So he talked about ideal types, he talked about Verstehen and all those things you can mention, though it have elements of subjectivity, but still you can mention. Comte and Durkheim, they also gave methods and the approaches like positivism and Durkheim social facts and his concept, his methods, right? All these is basically to establish sociology as a scientific discipline by ensuring objectivity. Now, you can also talk about the influence of values. So from where values comes? What are values? Values are the bias or the belief that you carry in your mind. that actually lead to the bias, right? So values originate from socialization process. It could be involving many things. It could be your religion, it could be region, it could be caste, it could be race, it could be culture. So this will influence the human thoughts and actions. So values will affect your actions. So values will influence. So what you need? Value neutrality. So this value-based bias is what you mean by subjectivity, or what is affecting objectivity, or if you want to be objective, you need to overcome from these value-based biases. So personal bias should not be there. Personal bias comes from values. What you need value neutrality. Okay, now what are the methods? See, when we talk about objectivity, you need to definitely talk about positivist approach, because they emphasize more on objectivity. You remember, positivist approach we define in terms of objective understanding of objective reality. So Auguste Comte advocated the use of scientific methods to study macro level societal phenomena. Talk about that, you know that very well. Durkheim proposed the concept of social facts in the methods that he discussed. He emphasized again on external aspect, objective realities that should be studied using inductive methods, statistical techniques, and all those things. See, guys, this is a revision session, so I'm just guiding you by, in which you are going to write the answer. Then Weber is talking about proper training of the investigator. He emphasized the importance of, training the sociologists to ensure they adapt to the, they come with the rigorous methodologies and will remain neutral during their investigations. And he proposed the methods also. He mentioned about that. And then biases, stating the biases. See, researchers must declare their potential biases to allow for a transparent and critical review of their work. So that also something which can be done. And we always talk about, peer review or the organized skepticism. So you encourage the criticisms and validation of such research findings through peer review. That will ensure elimination of subjective errors. It's like you come with your research, the conclusion, and then review from your, a group. So that's not criticism. That's what organized skepticism, right? Again, reflexivity. You can adopt reflexivity, documenting and critically evaluating their actions and thought processes during the research. Sociologists can do that. And then triangulation method. In fact, this was asked as a question also as 10 marker. That means combining multiple research methods to cross-verify the results, and that will enhance the reliability and minimize the individual biases. Triangulation, talk about this. Weber's worst hand and ideal types, we already discussed this, so you can write that. Durkheim's rules, right? We discussed the rules of observation, classification, distinction, and explanation. Why he have given these rules? To ensure objectivity. Consider things as social facts and ensure objectivity. Then testing of reliability and validity. So various, application of rigorous test you can do that will ensure that the findings are consistent and accurately representing the phenomena which is studied, which is under study. Avoiding, advocacy again. Researchers should refraining from, promoting their viewpoints or some specific viewpoint, so that you will automatically become neutral. So you don't want to be an advocate of something. You are studying domestic violence, and if you are a woman, you don't try to advocate that. You just be neutral and study that. Okay. Now, what is the desirability of objectivity in sociology? Guys, always I'll give you different thinkers, different viewpoints, but if it is a 10 marker, you just need to take one stand. You can quote Weber and simply say that sociology study human beings who have consciousness and the behavior cannot be predicted. So absolute objectivity cannot be ensured. On the other hand, if you talk about natural science, you can ensure absolute objectivity, 100% objectivity, because you're studying matter which do not have consciousness and the behavior can be accurately predicted. If you boil water at 100 degrees Celsius, you can predict what is going to happen. If you boil water at 0 degrees, freeze water at 0 degrees Celsius, then you can see what is going to happen. But that's not the case with human beings. So you can quote Weber and you can say, absolute objectivity, therefore, is neither desirable nor possible in sociology. Why it is not desirable? You're dealing with human beings. Humans have emotions. So you cannot get that, it's not desirable. Why it is not possible? Because you can't achieve it actually. You cannot, take into consideration all these human emotions. Now, we can talk about different thinkers. I'll give you can take it down in case if you don't have these thinkers in your notes. First, challenges to objectivity. Here I talk about Gunnar Myrdal. Okay, so he argued that complete objectivity is an illusion and that cultural contexts are essential for meaningful research. Habermas, we can talk about Jürgen Habermas. He believed that, complete separation of facts and values is impossible given the subjective nature of human social interaction. That's what we were talking about so far. Next, Alvin Gouldner, in this case, balancing facts and values. He highlighted that the facts and values are intertwined in empirical research. For example, the interpretation of poverty may involve both objective indicators in terms of income levels and other things, and value-based consideration, which is a social inequality. Okay, and you can discuss Dilthey and Galtner in terms of elusiveness and value neutrality. Elusiveness of value neutrality. So Dilthey emphasized the limitations of purely factual approach, and he argued for the inclusion of cultural and ideological dimension. Goldner described value neutrality as an elusive goal and advocated for viewpoint-based research to address societal complexities. Now, need for contextual understanding. See, objectivity in sociology must account for cultural and social context. Ignoring these actually will lead to, incomplete understanding of the problem. So that's the issue. You can talk about Durkheim's theory of study of suicide here. It highlighted the interplay between individual behavior and societal factors. Both are important, right? Again, you can criticize using positivism, right? So Herbert Marcuse, he understood or viewed strict objectivity as a limitation, arguing that sociology must address social inequalities and promote change. Again, Adorno criticized positivism for neglecting the subjective and dialectical aspect of social life. So here you are criticizing the positivist objectivity. Okay, so Adorno and Marcuse, guys, these are general criticisms that we often use. That's why, like Gunnar Myrdal, Habermas, Goldner, Dilthey, Adorno, Marcuse, these are general criticisms we always use in many areas. That's why I'm taking up these names, as it is already very clear and rooted in your minds, and you're very much familiar with all these guys. Okay, all these sociologists, sorry. So again, now what are the criticisms? You can say sociology deals with multi-layered truths, which is influenced by human consciousness, which makes absolute objectivity unattainable. Simply saying you are dealing with human beings have consciousness, which cannot be predicted accurately. So absolute objectivity is not possible, nor desirable also. But what postmodernists say, they question the existence of universal truth, and they argue that the knowledge is constructed and contingent on social and historical context. Pierre Bourdieu highlighted the influence of symbolic power and cultural capital on research interpretation. Cultural capital and symbolic power and all those things we are using in multiple other places also. Now, what is going to be our conclusion, guys, now here? See, objectivity remains a foundational goal in sociology, but it is neither fully achievable nor desirable. That's the fact. Quote Weber. Why it is this? Now, then you can say, if you want, I can repeat. According to Weber, natural science study matter, which do not have consciousness, whose behavior can be predicted in terms of cause and effect. Sociology study human beings whose behavior cannot be predicted. So absolute objectivity is neither desirable nor possible in sociology. So the discipline, in fact, benefit from balance between objectivity or objective and subjective interpretation, which will capture the complexities of social life. Right? So you can talk about Gunnar Myrdal, which we again used in positivism and non-positivism discussion also. Chaos cannot organize itself into cosmos. We need viewpoints. Right? I have given this in the PDF also. Check out that. So how to conclude? Thus, sociology must strive for evolving form of objectivity. So over a period of time, you need to take into consideration of the subject matter and the various limitations also. And you can incorporate rigorous methods. At the same time, acknowledge the influence of cultural and social context as well, impact of value also, right? Human consciousness and emotions also. So an integrated approach or a balanced approach will ensure that sociology remains both credible and relevant in addressing the real world issue rather than simply sticking to this debate of objectivity and subjectivity, right? But of course, you need to ensure objectivity, maximum possible objectivity, by proper training of investigator, by using proper methods, by conducting study based on logic, evidence, and other things and methods and everything. So that's what something which you can do. So guys, that's about this session. I hope things are very clear and I have done justice to this time that you have spent with me. So this is a revision session. This is not about the topic. In fact, I think I have given that in YouTube itself. In case if you're looking for the course or mentorship program for sociology or the test series, right, you can get in touch with us. The details are given in the description. For the PDF of the entire topics, you can again download it for free of cost, which is given in the description. So see you guys. If you like the video, share it with the friends also. See you in the next video. Thank you so much.